Hello, my lovely soul tribe and beautiful people. I hope you guys are all doing well and had an amazing weekend. I know we've been having crazy weather and a lot of these storms and thunder and lightning. It's been crazy, right? It's been unreal. I don't remember having this many storms so frequently and so much thunder. Like, it makes you wonder what the hell is going on in the universe. Is Mother Nature trying to tell us something? But yesterday, Sunday, was actually a really nice day. And I really enjoyed my day. I enjoyed my downtime. And, the theme lately of the videos that I've been doing have been geared around relationships. And I was doing it for fun. But also, whatever spirit had, whatever advice and guidance spirit had for the collective in romance or lack of, or in search of. I hope that you guys enjoyed the stuff that was coming through. And today I kind of wanted to continue with the upbeat, uplifting energy of just having fun, just having fun with it. But the one thing that I have to say, and it really made me think so much more about like relationships and, what they should really represent in your life. And, we've been touching upon a lot of the things that people go through in relationships, and how some people will keep themselves stuck from relationships that broke their hearts. But yesterday I spent a lot of time, majority of the day I spent with myself. And I really did a lot of soul searching. And what I found was, and I've always known this, but it just becomes clear to you in certain moments, in certain times of experiences or whatever you may be going through, especially when you're very grounded and connected. The most important relationship that you can ever have is the relationship with yourself. You really need to have a good relationship with yourself. You need to be okay with being alone. You need to be okay with who you are, spending time alone. Not to say that you have to be alone forever, but there's just so much to be said for when you spend time with yourself. There's just so much clarity that you receive in that time connected to yourself. And I don't mean where you're distracting yourself, right? Where you're really actually in the moment and really present. When you're present, it's just like stuff just comes to you. You just appreciate, like, you see the beauty in the world. You notice things that you would have never noticed in your busy everyday life. When you're just in that centered, aligned space, you can really see things for what they are. And that means even see yourself for who you are, and what truly makes you happy and what it is that you're in search of, and what will emotionally fulfill you. And of course, we learn all of that through experiences, right? We don't really know that until we go through experiences. But I know I'm jumping all over the place, but I say this to say, before we start on the fun, is the time that I spent with myself yesterday. I woke up in kind of a heavy energy because I feel I'm very sensitive to collective energy. So I have to find myself grounding a lot, going for walks or doing whatever it is that I need to do for myself to keep that energy from overwhelming me or taking over. So I started my day like I normally do on a Sunday, and just go for a walk and, a run. I'll throw a run in there if it's not too hot. And that's how I usually will start my Sunday, and even like my Fridays when I'm off. So like my days where I'm off or when I have time before remote sessions or whatever, I just like to take some downtime. And if it's not even being outdoors is just doing things that I like to do, and sometimes it's okay for you to do nothing, if that's what your body is asking you to do, nothing. But yesterday I just felt, like I said, I started my day with a walk and a run in the park. And as I'm walking and running, all these things are coming through me because, that's when I really connect with myself. Messages, thoughts, things that are coming in, and all to do with me and my life and what I would like to see for the future, things like that. But in a good way, not like a stressful where you're stressing about bills and this. No, it's like, exciting things like, okay, this is what I want to see. This is the happiness I want. This is what, I want that will emotionally fit. Things like that, So just things that are more pertaining to you and your well-being and, what lights your fire. And sometimes, things that need to be released will come up, a little sadness sometimes, but then it gets released because you're in nature. You know what I mean? So I started my day like that yesterday. It felt so freaking good. And then it was just like I needed a change of scenery. Like I was like, all right, I love the park, but I just needed to be somewhere a little different, because I just felt like I really needed to be present to release whatever energy I was feeling from that morning. So I was like, you know what? Let's go to the lake. Let's go to the lake and just spend some time by yourself. And let me tell you, it was the best thing I ever did. And I have to do it more often. I do it every once in a while, but I feel like it's something I really want to add into my days off, as long as, weather's permitting. But I went up to, there's a lake that's not too far from me. And I went and parked my car. And, I started drinking Kachava protein shakes. They're like meal replacements. And I feel like when I drink them, I just feel so much more connected and clear. I don't feel as heavy as if I would eat, more solid food. But it has so many nutrients and vitamins in it. And I can feel a shift in my mood and energy whenever I drink it. So I had ice cold Kachava chocolate waiting for me in my cool thermos that keeps everything cold. And I'm like, all right, we're going to go to the lake now. And we're going to just chill out and just be there, just be present while I enjoy drinking my Kachava. I know, sounds silly, right? But it was such an uplifting and connecting experience, just sitting by the lake, drinking my Kachava, and just looking at the water. And the more I sat there and looked out into the water, and became more and more present and in the moment, the more I started to notice things, it was like, to some people this seems boring, but to me, I'm like a kid at heart sometimes, I'm like new things, when I just see things differently, clearly, I find excitement in everything. Joy. I got like a child mind, it's like that innocence of like, oh, wow, I went to the botanical gardens with one of my friends for my birthday, and I was like a big old child. I was like in the moment looking at all the flowers. It was beautiful. And I was like this big, oh my God, look how beautiful. I was like a big kid, but I find like I'm like that, that's just the kid in me, and I'll never lose that. I love that, that innocence, that curiosity, that adventure, it's just, it just makes life more entertaining and fun, right? So as I'm sitting there, I'm noticing birds, across the lake, on the other side of the lake, that I could, it was like a bird I'd never seen. I was trying to identify what kind of bird. Look, almost like a pelican. I don't think we have those in this part. Maybe, I don't know. But I started looking at that, and I was in just such amazement. And, before the lake started getting more people, it was just so peaceful, I started noticing dragonflies, the different colored dragonflies, and how they flew around so fast and went from little flower to flower. And at one point there was this beautiful blood butterfly that I've never seen. The color of it was silver, blue. It was beautiful. It was pretty big too, bigger than normal, like the monarchs, but a different species. Maybe it was a hybrid. I don't know. But as I'm like, I say this is like, when you're present, you just notice things that you would have noticed, things that you would have never noticed in your busy life. And it was just so much fun and so grounding. I felt so peace, and like all that heavy energy that I woke up with lifted. It's why it's so important to be in the present moment, The more present you are, the more balanced you are, right? And a lot of energy will start to get lifted off of you. But this butterfly was flying around me, and and I believe in signs and synchronicities and things like that. And, and the butterfly represents rebirth. And I feel that that's what's happening, of course, in the collective, but in my life personally. I feel like I'm getting ready for a shift, like a change, like things are really starting to change for me in a good way. I just feel like I don't let things stress me out like they used to. Of course, life, we're human. Life happens. We're going to have moments we're going to get stressed out, right? But I just find like when those moments come in, they don't last as long as they may have before, because I recognize it for what it is. I recognize the fear that it's bringing up, and I acknowledge it. I acknowledge it, and I release it. And even if it comes back another time, it's just, I don't hold on to things like I used to hold on to. Past stuff. I feel like I've cleared a lot of karma, a lot of things that have affected me in my life emotionally, which I have let define me to a certain extent in my life. I feel like I let a lot of that stuff go. And I feel like this is something that's happening in the collective. This is happening with a lot of people. It's like this is where things are coming up to the surface. Things that we thought we healed. They may show up in our dream state. They may show up with memories or thoughts or reoccurrences of people, places, things that would trigger us, affect us. But when you've done the work and acknowledged all of these things within yourself, your shadow work, and not to say that that's ever done completely, because it's not. We're going to receive remnants of things coming up to the surface, because we have a lifetime of shit within us, cell memories, DNA, even stuff from our past lives and ancestors. So I don't feel like we'll be entirely ever completely healed. I don't want to say completely healed, but completely free of things like that come into our lives. But I find that when you do work on yourself, when those things appear, they're not going to control you maybe like it would have in the past, right? So it's like we just learn how to navigate through life a lot more easier. And the more present we are, the more connected we are to ourselves, to nature, to things around us. We really can see things for what they are and really get to understand what's truly going on, where things come from. We get to see the beauty in the world, the things that we, take for granted, things that we don't normally see because we're just so busy, getting through life. We're distracting ourselves from life, whatever way you choose to go, right? But all of this stuff came to me yesterday, and I was getting signs after signs. Not only just a butterfly representing, awakenings and transition and transformation, new cycles beginning and ending, right? When you think of a butterfly, how it comes to life, right? Where it starts and where it blooms into, what it grows into, beautiful, right? I also started when I was sitting, and so I would get up and then I would walk and then I would find another area to sit and enjoy the scenery, It was just a really calm and relaxing day for me. I really felt connected. I made friends with a little ladybug, and this ladybug came right up to me, yellow. I I've never seen a yellow ladybug before. And it was so interesting. And it was beautiful. It was like a bright yellow and yellow ladybug. And it came right up to me. I let it crawl on my finger. And it just wouldn't leave my side. It kept following me and staying near me. If I moved, it would move. Or just sit there and stare. It would just stare at me. It's very interesting. But I just found, like I said, I just found myself focusing in on things that I would not normally focus in during, because when you're busy. When your mind is other things, but being present, it just felt so good. It just felt good to be present and just appreciating things and the beauty and of all the things out there, the trees and the grass and everything. It was just, everything just seemed so vibrant and clear. And it felt really, really invigorating and elevating for me. So I spent a lot of time at the lake, and I really do feel like I'm going to make it part of my regular routine, weekly routine, weather permitting, to do that, because it just felt like I could breathe. I'm here in the moment, enjoying all these little critters and the birds and, all of that stuff. But like I said, doing things like that, keeping yourself grounded when we're being so challenged with all of these energies coming at us and all of this stuff that's coming at us, of things that we need to look at and recognize and clear and release. And like I said, we're not going to ever entirely be free of everything, but we're going to learn how to navigate through it better. We're going to learn how to recognize it for what it is so that we don't hold on. It's more about taking all of that energy, those experiences, and just learning how to navigate through them and not letting them define us or hold us back, or from moving forward into what it is that we're supposed to be doing. And that really is just to get to a place of balance, right? A balance between masculine and feminine energies within us, yin and yang, light and dark. We need to get into a place of peace. This is what this transition into 5D, and 5D represents, peace and calm. We have to be at that place. We can't take a lot of our 3D material, egotistic, density energy with us, really, lower vibrational energy with us. You can't ascend into a higher frequency with low energy. So like I said, we may not ever entirely be rid of these things, but when we do the work and when we spend the time and when we get to see the things for what they are, where they're coming from, and we start to begin that healing process of healing and releasing and letting go, each time gets easier and easier when more challenges are presented to us, right? We navigate it through a lot easier, and that energy does not hold us back anymore, right? Because everything, we have control over our choices, right? And what we decide we want to do and where we want to stay. And I'm telling you, I know mental conflict can really take a hold of us and keep us stuck in a dark place because of, again, which comes from programming and limiting beliefs and all in conditioning. But again, all of that stuff wasn't presented in our life, in our lifetimes, to keep us stuck or to let it define us. It's more or less being placed, not only because our soul chose those lessons to learn, but to learn them, take them, apply them, learn from them, and that's where you learn what you want and what you don't want in life, where you want to be, what you want. And at the end of the day, mostly it's just love and unconditional love and peace and calm, really. We're always looking for that calm and that peace, right? Happiness, joy, everything that lies within ourselves. That's the parts of us that we try to bring into the light, that's being held back. and down because, we choose to allow it to be stuck there because we don't allow ourselves to heal it or release it, right? We just kind of like go with it and let it keep us stuck, right? So this is what this whole awakening is about, to get us to that place of starting to see that for what it is, and now allowing it to help us grow from it rather than be stuck in it and let it define who we are, right? That's what this awakening is about, lovely people. As hard as and challenging it is, and how sometimes it just feels like it's never going to end. It will. If you allow it to, you trust and you believe in the process of healing and letting go, right? So we wanted to start with that.